Good morning. Woo! So good to see you all this morning. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I love it. Had a great weekend. I hope you all did as well. We had so much going on here with you know the kids and getting them to school and making sure that everything was taken care of. So we actually didn't work on getting them to school this week, but we were making sure that they had what they needed. And we're going to be getting together with all of them actually next weekend. My niece is getting married in Bowling Green, so we're going to be going to Bowling Green and spend a little bit of time with my mom and getting to see her, and then we're going to spent some time with Jess, but we had an absolute great weekend. We got to spend some time. Actually, Saturday, Connie and I we went for a walk and a run, so that was good. Staying fit, and then we relaxed a little bit on Saturday afternoon. And then we went over to some friend's house and had a nice cookout with them, which was nice. Sunday, we what did we do on Sunday? So we had I had an NSA meeting, a National Speakers Association meeting on Sunday. So had a great time with all of them. With Tim Gard was our speaker, and he did a phenomenal job. So Connie was working in the yard, I believe, and making sure that the things looked good. She always does such a great job. But then Monday came today, and I needed to get up early and go to a doctor's office. So last night, I said to Connie, when Connie and I were going to bed, I said, Connie, would you set the alarm? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't set the alarm in 6 months because with COVID, I've just been kind of like there, like I'll get up when I get up. So, and that's an okay thing for a little while, but I think I've fallen into a lull. I have a blind spot, and the blind spot was caused by COVID because I got complacent. Yeah, I still work hard and I still try to do everything I can to, make a good living and to do my best for my family, but I stopped getting up at a certain time. So some people say you should just be able to sleep as long as you want to sleep. Okay, well, maybe that's true. But I need to be more disciplined about when I'm getting up. So before, when I got up, if I set my alarm for 6 o'clock, I would always get up before the alarm because I didn't want to wake Connie up. It was a discipline of mine to make sure I got up before my alarm went off. So that's a kind of blind spot that I had. Not wanting to wake up Connie. That's not the issue. But the issue was that I was after COVID hit, I was complacent and I was just staying in bed. And I need to be more disciplined about getting up. So that's a new initiative for me, is to set my alarm clock, even though I'll probably still get up before it goes off. But that's one of those things that I just find is very, very important for me to be able to stay on top of all of the things that I have going on. So that's one of the blind spots that I've noticed that I have. So tell me, if you would, what are some of the blind spots that you have noticed? Oh, and let's see, Wes is on this morning. Good morning, Wes. How are you this morning? Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. And Wes is also my partner, so he has put up here, how to win a chance at getting one of my books. My book, a signed book, I'll be sent to you if you enter your name by doing what Wes has put up here and taking a picture of yourself and then putting in your timeline of you winking with me or winking without me, and then tag me and put in a hashtag of Brian with one eye and a hashtag of winking with Wagner. So that will allow you to be in the book. And then there's also a membership site there at the bottom. So I want to make sure you have that membership site. So if you've not joined this site yet, I encourage you to do so. That's where some of the latest and greatest stuff that I have coming out is going to go. It's not all going to go to Facebook. It's not all going to go to LinkedIn. It's not even going to all going to go to my website, but it'll go to this site. And this site is really where I want to continue to serve you as best I can and do everything I can. So thank you for that, Wes. I appreciate you. He is awesome. Let's see who else is on here. So Chris Gross is on. Chris Gross, good morning. Good morning. I saw you went to a wedding this weekend. That sounds awesome. I mean, it's always fun to get to go to a wedding, and it sounds like you've not been in Colorado Springs for very long. So to have some friends out there already, that's pretty impressive. That would invite you to their wedding. That's cool. Let's see, what else? Let's talk a little bit about blind spots. So we all talked about how blind spots are those things that are preventing us from seeing what we should be seeing. So a blind spot when you're driving in a car, it's over your right-hand shoulder. It's the blind spot between your mirrors. So what your mirrors don't pick up. Now, if you have your mirrors adjusted correctly, yes, you can see through your blind spot with your mirrors. However, most people don't have their mirrors adjusted that way. They don't have them so in such a manner that there's still an area where a car could be, but you're not able to see it unless you turn you around over your shoulder and you look through your blind spot. That is how I would like for you to look at your life, your career, whatever it is that you're doing. What is it that you're not seeing that you should be? What is creeping up in your blind spot? And how can you see through it? So that's what I want to talk to you about today, is the blind spot. And how do we see through our blind spot? We've mentioned already some of the areas you can have with making your blind spot smaller. You can begin to solicit feedback. And when you solicit feedback and you receive it, what do you say? You got to receive it as a gift. And what do you say when you receive a gift? Thank you. So that's the same way you want to receive feedback. That's important. And then how do you ask someone for feedback? Who do you ask for feedback? When do you ask for feedback? How do you ask for feedback? There are a lot of questions that go around that whole feedback loop. And it can be a loop. So think about that. And while we're waiting, I'm going to take a sip of coffee because I love coffee. And I'd like for you to respond a little bit about some areas where you see other people have blind spots. Maybe you see your own blind spots. Now, typically it's not possible to see your own blind spots, but sometimes people can do it. Like I did with my alarm clock blind spot. So tell me a little bit about your blind spots as well. If you're listening to this on replay, please put in #replay. If you're listening to it live, #live. I know Chris is a #live and Wes is a #live. But if there's anybody else out there, please let me know. Tell me where you're calling in from and what your blind spot that you've noticed. I don't see many people have entered in anything yet, so I'll keep waiting. Maybe Wes, you can tell me how your golf game went on Friday. Tell me how your blind spots might have caused you some problems when you're out on the golf course. It's okay. We all have them. Oh, here we go. Laura Waller. Oh, I love you, Laura Waller. Where have you been? I missed you so bad. You are a great, great friend. Thank you very much, Laura. Yes, Laura calling in from Columbus. Laura and I met, what was it, 6-7 years ago, Laura, with Kerry. And we were talking to him about how we can maybe write a book. I think you wrote a book as well. I know I did. And just what a great friend. Oh, my gosh. She is the best hugger than I think I've ever met. Laura, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being on here today. So hopefully someday we'll get together and have that hug again. Wouldn't that be great? So who else is on here? So LinkedIn user, Kentucky, not sure. Well, we got to change that. You got to find out where you're at. If you're in Kentucky or Ohio or Tennessee, Wes is live. Who else do we have on? Let's see. What's Wes got to say here? A blind spot I know I have is having too many irons in the fire at one time. Now, Wes, you are off topic. How's it go? Off topic intentional, off topic on purpose, right? So it's kind of your personality, your ADD personality, excuse me. But it makes you who you are. It makes you unique. So don't lose that 100%. I mean, it's important to have. Let's see, what else? Oh, you were 2 over. 14 under, won it. Wow. You need to cheat more. That would be a blind spot. So don't do that. Very nice. Thank you very much, Laura. I miss you. Let's see. Well, thank you very much, Laura. That's great. What else we have? Oh, off topic on purpose, as Wes would say. So tell me a little bit about your blind spots, if you would. I know a lot of people are entering in here, and I appreciate that. All the comments, that's good. But tell me a little bit about blind spots. Maybe it's not your own blind spot. Maybe it's blind spots that you've noticed in other people. What can you do to help them? That would be an interesting thing to be able to help someone else with their blind spots. You can probably tell me that I have a lot of blind spots. Talking to you right now. Maybe standing here with a cup of coffee is a blind spot. Well, I appreciate you all, and I appreciate you being on today. This has been a great organization that we've started here with a Radical Vision, and I'm so glad that you all have joined us this morning. We have a lot more to go. We're going to continue to forge on with what it is we're doing. So, blind spots are all around us. I would say one of my blind spots that I've encountered is not my fear of practice, but my angst with practice. I have a lot of things in the fire as well, and practice is one of the last things that I want to do. So, I have a speech that I've written and have a great speaking coach that has helped me write it, but I know that going through it is going to help me. But I also know going through it is kind of a hard thing at times, because I've given it so many times. I mean, I've given it, I don't know how many times over the last 2 years since we've written it. And yes, the writing or the structure of the speech has changed, but I just need to get out of my way. I mean, I need to understand that not practicing is a blind spot, and it's a blind spot that's going to hurt me when I go up to give an actual presentation. So this presentation is coming up on September 22nd, so a week from tomorrow. So I need to make sure that I have it down, and this speech coach is definitely helping me with that. But there are other blind spots that I have, and there are other blind spots that you have as well. So what are some of the blind spots you have? Let's see. Carla. Hey, Carla Bruscato. Gratitude. Thank you very much, Carla, for being on. Tell me a little bit about some of the blind spots that you've noticed. Maybe you've noticed them in other people. Maybe they're not your own. So just think about what you can do to help someone else with their blind spot. So I started to talk about how with blind spots, we need to understand that we need to ask for feedback, and when you receive feedback, you need to receive it as a gift. And anytime you receive a gift, what do you say? Thank you. So who do you ask? You ask a close friend. No, you ask a trusted truth teller, that's going to give you honest feedback. How do you find that? That's really hard. It's really hard to find somebody like that. Sometimes you have to pay them, and that makes it not so hard, but you still have to go through the transaction of that. That's one thing I would say. There's also the fact that these truth tellers need to be someone that's probably not your spouse, probably not your best friend. They have to be someone that understands you, but can give you a tough message, and you'll hear it the appropriate way. I know for me, when my wife gives me feedback, I don't always hear it the right way. I don't hear it from a trusted colleague or a truth teller. I don't hear it the way that I probably should, because it's my wife, and she's my wife, and I love her, but I don't look to her for help from a speech perspective when it comes to delivering and all that. So again, that may be a blind spot, but I ask for you to begin to understand what it is that you can do to help me understand who else you would go to. Who else are you thinking about? So that's one thing, is asking who you ask. When do you ask? When do you ask for feedback? You got to ask for feedback well in advance of when you want it, and then you have to make sure that they give you the feedback at a certain time. So you don't want to have the feedback come right after. I wouldn't think right after the incident that you're having them evaluate. You want to give them a little bit of time. For me speaking, I would ask for 24 to 48 hours after my speech for them to give me the feedback. That's for me, that gives me enough time to breathe, enough time to feel the moment, enough time to share with the other people that are there, that want to come up to me and talk about my speech. Whatever the case, it really helps me a lot to give me that amount of time. And then, so I talked about who do you ask, when do you ask, and when do you get the feedback, but also how do you ask. So I ask for specific feedback. I don't ask for, hey, so what do you think about my speech? Well, that's okay, but I can tell you that you're going to have a lot better success if you say, I'd like for you to listen to my transitions in my speech. What am I doing that can help the audience to feel more of an impact, that that I'm piecing those two things together in a much more systematic way. So that's how you would go about asking for feedback. It's make it more pointed is really what I'm saying. So having said that, those are some of the ways that I would ask for feedback. And so those are some of the blind spots that I have. So let's see who else has come up with some blind spots here. Other people are mirrors. My friend Laura, she says, other people are mirrors. I have found that if something in someone else, it is because it's something that's going on in me, and I recognize it. Huh. Yeah, that's good. That's good, Laura. I'm so glad you're on today. I hope you can join some more. So good stuff. And then she went on to say, then I work on it in me with God. Yeah, you can't work on anything without God, because doing something like that is going to be. It's going to be hard to have much of a lasting success or a lasting impact if you just go it alone and do it all on your own. If you don't ask for help, that's the God part, then your chances of success are much, much less. Anyway, well, thank you for that, Laura. Anybody else have any comments before we go? So we're about, oh my gosh, we're over 20 minutes already. So and I gotta tell you, I am so glad that my friend Wes encouraged me to have these lives, because it gives me a chance to talk with you all about what's going on in your life. I know that there's a lot that I can be doing, a lot more that I can be doing to share with you, the impact that you're having on my life. But I also want to make sure that I continue to share with you the impact that other people have had on my life. And I want to take that impact and give it to you. So that's one of those things where I'm just blown away with my friend Wes, who encouraged me to do these lives, and then the other people that are on these calls that have made the call so much better. So if I can continue to take what they're giving me and give it to other people, then that's something that I'm going to continue to do. So if you ever need anything or want anything, by all means, let me know. Again, if you're listening, listening to this live, do a hashtag live. And if it's a hashtag replay. And then the Waking with Wagner piece. If you'd like a signed copy of my book, please put in the comments, or put in your timeline that a picture of you waking without me, and tag me on the picture and put in hashtag Waking with Wagner and hashtag Brian with one eye. That's all I have for you this morning. I'm so glad you're on today, and I appreciate all that you've given me and all that you've done. So having said all that, I'll leave you with this. Until tomorrow, keep one eye on the road. Take care. Bye. Oh, Chris Gross had something else. When my kids ask for advice, I have to check myself to see if my advice is what I want or honest feedback. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a very good blind spot. What do you ask, or what's your response? What are you thinking of? Are you thinking what you would want them to do, or are you thinking about what is it that? Yeah, so I have to ask myself to see if my advice is what I want them or honest feedback for them. Yeah. So that's awesome. Thank you very much, Chris. And thanks to everyone else. Take care. Have a good one.